Cody, be nice.
Blammo, we back, Daniel.
Hey, man, I was just thinking, it's been a while since I've chatted it up with Cody about breakfast.
I know. I was just thinking, as soon as you said it, I was like, I think the thing that's missing from people's lives at this point is our conversation around breakfast food.
Well, I know it's been missing from my life because I've been wondering for weeks now.
Okay, hit me.
What is Cody's favorite breakfast syrup?
Breakfast syrup? Golly, dude. It's got to be the one.
The maple?
Is this how you felt when I asked you the first question, the first time we asked about breakfast food?
I already told you I'm trying to make.
Dude, just pure maple syrup. Yeah.
Maple?
Maple.
None of that strawberry. What about a good blackberry syrup?
Oh, I do like black. You know what's good is boysenberry. Have you ever had boysenberry?
Oh, yeah. Good boysenberry. I lived up in the Northwest for a while.
Of course, man.
Boysenberry.
That is good.
Yeah. So some good boysenberry syrup.
Yeah. Well, I can't let you off the hook here. Dan, what's your favorite breakfast syrup?
Well, it depends on what kind. What's the main caloric sustenance that I'm putting the syrup on?
Breakfast enchiladas. What do you got?
Enchiladas. Yep. I love me some of that salsa syrup.
Yeah, no doubt. The one with the green chilies.
Yeah, some of that
505
green chili syrup.
Oh man, I'm in.
All right.
All right. Well, we definitely have all of our listeners have abandoned ship by now. What do you think?
Oh yeah. So let's jump in with nice shouts.
Nice shouts, man. Our first one's kind of more of a hashtag grief shout.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be a tough one, man. But the good friend. So Clove Cronmiller, a licensed associate counselor here in Flag, who's been here for a long time. Incredible artist and just a staple in the community in a lot of ways. Passed away a couple weeks ago from complications of COVID. So this pandemic, man, it is hitting everywhere.
It is hitting everywhere. He'd spoken so highly of her, about her creativity, and about how she also was kind of a caretaker in her role as a counselor for people that can be marginalized.
Absolutely, man. She was just, I was fortunate to do her clinical supervision, and the future of like mental health treatment here in Flagstaff is going to miss her for sure. She's just such a great connective person, at ease with herself and the world, I would say. Just very even, and an absolute joy to be around.
So genuine nice shout.
Yeah, genuine nice shout to Clove Cronmiller. You know, gratitude and thank yous for time spent with her.
Yeah. Well, the next one is just something I came across reading the newspaper.
Yeah. AZ Daily Sun?
The AZ Daily
Associated
Sun.
Press?
Just getting in on that Daily Sun for that local news.
Oh, I love it, dude.
Really solidly written articles.
Yeah.
Gloria Brown.
Yep.
Who established an organization called Knitting Without Borders. It was originally started in New York City. She now lives here in Sedona, according to the article. But they've been knitting teddy bears for children, and she reaches out to various communities. I think likely because she's now living in Sedona, is reaching out to indigenous communities here in the area, people that may be experiencing more isolation because of the quarantine.
Yeah. And
just delivered a whole truckload of knitted teddy bears from all across the U.S. To Flag High to be delivered to children.
Hey. All right.
Shout out Gloria Brown.
So bringing a little hope and comfort in a difficult time.
Oh, yeah. Boy, do we need it.
Golly, man.
Good for her and people like her that are reaching out during this strenuous period and also dipping into that holiday vibe of giving.
Yeah, no doubt. So nice shout for Gloria Brown.
Nice shout, Gloria Brown.
Very cool. Well, man, it's been a while since we've been doing the quick and nerdy. It feels like it's been forever. We had Jesse Prescott on, then we did a quick and nerdy on, what was it, gratitude, right before the holiday. We missed a week. Here we are.
So here we are. So let's do a quick overview then.
Quick overview. The last two that we did the first one was trust. And so we thought we'd cover those last couple. And so just to remind everyone that the mindfulness attitude of trust has to do with really paying attention to your own intuition. So being in tune with what your body is showing you in the moment with the goal of trusting yourself and also trusting others.
Yeah. So your recognition not to trust me and giving me that money,
Yeah,
when I promised you more money in return,
Yeah.
is good.
it
Good
was,
of you.
It was spot on. Yeah, it's about as
Trust
accurate of an intuition as I've ever had.
And then we had the gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, the week of the holiday. So that was a good one to have. There's so many huge benefits to gratitude, well established, been documented, empirically validated over and over again for decades worth of time. So get that gratitude in. Like journal, identify things you're grateful for, go find things you're grateful for and express that to other people. Tell other people when you're grateful for them. Remember what you have, compare it to what you've previously not had. Take that effort. Notice your surroundings. All that gratitude pays off. Most of all, your subjective well-being goes up when you do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blammo. And we're about a handful of days away from crossing 30 days straight of gratitude practice.
Just a few more from doing 30 days of gratitude as Beyond Flag.
Yeah, no doubt. What's that been like for No Gram for Dan?
It's good. The hardest part for me is putting that on the socials. not a huge fan of the socials still.
My level of surprise is pretty minimal at this moment.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if you knew this because we played up how judgment was my number 2 strength according to the VIA Strengths Finder.
Oh yeah.
Gratitude, I think it's either number 1 or number 3. I can't remember which one.
Oh really?
Yeah. I honestly, I dip into it. I don't vocalize it, I think, as much as I do. But I just think how fortunate I am to be where I'm at.
Yeah.
I really don't think that I should be where I'm at.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel really lucky.
Yeah.
And then, if I'm outside, just feel really fortunate for my surroundings, like just small things, all the components that make it great to be alive.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So finding things to be grateful for aren't very hard. Trying to verbalize that and put that in a presentable way on social, more difficult.
That's more difficult. Yeah. I've had kind of that same experience as far as like trying to find a picture for everything or just like remembering to do the dang thing every day.
Yeah.
On the social.
Yeah. And I got to give you a little bit of a nice shout because some of the days I've forgotten which day number it is. So I just put a question mark, and I've noticed that recently you've started just filling in what number it is. You edit out the question mark that I put in. You put a number
just put a number there. I think the first time I had said like, it's day 15, Dunny. Or something. And then it's just like, all right, I'll just start putting the day in here. I'll enable your lack of attention of the day.
Well, here I got some gratitude for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I accept a nice shout. I appreciate that. And then also kind of, for me, if you feel this way, how about everyone who's also chimed in? Like to me, that's been really cool.
It's cool to see the comments. Sometimes, I don't know how it works, social media, but it seems like, I don't know that you can always fit everyone that replies to the answerable one, whatever that's called.
The prompt.
The question. It's cool to read those in our comments. Super cool.
Yeah, it's been really neat to see. And so we really appreciate everyone who's joined us in that. And then again, with gratitude, I think we've mentioned this a few times, but you can always pick up wherever you're at. And so it's easy to get kind of stuck into it around maybe the holiday or it gets pushed and we're kind of hyped up. But wherever you're at is a good opportunity to stop, pause, and to show gratitude for what it is where you are and what it is that you have.
Yeah. So gratitude. So trust and gratitude were our last two. What's the attitude of mindfulness that we're covering for today?
We are hopping into what's referred to as non-striving.
Super easy.
Yeah, super easy. You just don't do.
Undo.
So in our typical format, right? We'll try to provide a good definition and then we'll go from there. Does that sound good?
You got some good defs?
I do. Well, first off, so I always go to Merriam-Webster, and whenever I put it in this note, it always auto-corrects it to Merrimack. It says Merrimack-Webster. So Merrimack-Webster.
Your autocorrect I feel sorry for because
it works overtime.
Spelling and how many times you've allowed for it to do that, it probably has no idea what's a real word and what's not.
Yeah, I feel certain that autocorrect is going to get me canceled someday. That's going to happen. Oh man. So Merrimack-Webster,
the
MW doesn't have a definition for non-striving.
Here we go again.
So we're going to break it down into English here, right?
Phrased up attitude. So what you got?
So non is working against or absent.
Okay.
Right? Strive is to devote serious effort or energy. That's definition 1.
Okay.
Definition 2 is to struggle in opposition.
So against or absent, serious effort or energy, or struggle in opposition.
Okay. Yeah, so that would be Merrimack-Webster's, right?
Yeah.
But we would like to do, we would want to see the full range of the spectrum of definitions.
You got the Urban D?
Urban D?
This
Non-strive?
is making my day.
They don't have a definition for it, man. It's killing me.
No, what?
So I did the same thing. I looked up non, and it had some reference to something or someone in a video game. I have no idea what that means.
Like a character name non, or?
I have no clue. Like, oh, we're going to go fight the nons or something, or we're going to go collect the nons? I have no idea. It just said non. Something to do with a person or something in a video game.
You've revealed yourself to be a non-video game.
Yeah, cat's out the bag. I've been parading around as a video game.
So what you got so far with the Urban D is that non has something to do with a video game.
So that was not helpful at all. But then it has strive, and it says to accomplish something and make great efforts. So if we were to throw that into a sentence, right? It says, I'm trying to strive and do big dirt. We strive over the swoop house last night. So for me,
wait.
Okay,
wait, go ahead.
I was thinking we know what striving is
so
now.
Those are those are the two sentences.
I'm trying to strive and do big dirt. We'd strive over the swoop house last night. That's all in like the same. So yeah, 2 sentences there, but in the same phrase.
And these are those 2 example phrases from the Urban D.
Yeah.
What does that string of words even mean? I
have no idea. I even tried to look up swoop house and I just exited out of my Google browser immediately. I don't know, man. But it does say, here are some other ideas for striving. One is that it's something you're forced to do Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay, that might fit.
This kind of fits the bill. Yeah. Another thing it says is a complete waste of time. Dude, you're going to love Urban D, man. Just
that probably fits with the attitude of non-striving when it comes to mindfulness. So complete waste of time.
Complete waste of time. And then here's probably my favorite one is they said it's something a company tries to promote with t-shirts and plaques, but really means nothing. I thought that was great.
Really trying to push that unified effort of striving.
Totally. So I like picture like the polo with the company corporate logo or the corporate company logo on it with some sort of like phrase with the word strive in it, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like Urban D really hit it out the park right there.
They did, but I got to admit to you, for me, they may have hit it out of the park with the word striving.
Yeah.
I feel like the collection of defining non and strive has really let me down with what we're talking about.
Yeah, I look at you and you look completely lost right now.
I am. So what is the attitude of non-striving when it comes to mindfulness?
That's a great question. So let's go to Jon Kabat-Zinn, right? We've followed his lead on a lot of what are these attitudes of mindfulness. And he says that non-striving is allowing things to be held in awareness without having to operate on them. And so what it simply is allowing yourself to be in the present moment and not having an agenda. Yeah. So a quote that he has is essentially non-striving, or maybe a better name for it is non-doing. And what that is trying less and being more.
Okay.
And this really goes against like Western philosophy, Western values sort of thing. He says we take the unusual position for Westerners and try not to get anywhere else, which is unusual.
Yeah.
Right. So non-striving, allow things to be held in awareness and not have to operate on them.
Yeah. The modus operandi of Western culture is to like always producing something.
Always be producing something. Yeah. Always be moving somewhere, like working toward goals.
Yeah.
Something that comes to mind as well.
In my mind, I think this is a good one for me to hear from you.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I think, when I relate to people, I often am thinking what's being contributed one way or another.
Yeah.
And so there's always this striving or a need to produce. It also takes me back to the good old days of reading Frederick Engels and Karl Marx.
The good old days.
Yeah.
How old are you at this point?
Yeah, I think capitalism can really produce this need to demonstrate a production, and you become the product.
And you become the product.
There we go.
Dang. Okay. Shut it down.
That's early Dan. That's early adult Dan. Really got passionate about some of those ideas.
We're going back to hashtag Earth Crisis Dan here.
Hashtag Earth Crisis Dan.
I love it. Well, something that does come to mind is I would be curious to know if you could think of a time in your life where like maybe you really got stuck to something, like trying to produce something or trying to make something happen.
Trying to fit into something or strive for something. I got a good example.
Yeah.
I think this one, this is a good example of this. This happened, I believe, about 2.5 years ago or so, if I remember right. Maybe 3.5. But it was summer turning into fall. And I remember we hadn't been outdoors for a while as a family. And so for me, this is making me laugh while I think about it. For me, I think I fell into the idea that me as Papa Phillips had not done a good enough job to facilitate those outdoor opportunities for kids, and the school year was fast approaching. And I was like, I got to strive to connect to the environment the way that I talk about, I practice and preach. So I got to get the kids out before school hits. So we're going to go out camping.
Yeah, I was waiting for the should statement. We should go camping.
We should. You should be a good dad.
You should be a good dad
by taking your kids camping.
I love this. Okay.
And so from start to finish, it just was me striving to fit the square peg into the round hole of this camping trip.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a lot of time. Like all throughout the week, I had zero time to prep stuff. So like throwing together, getting the food ready for what to cook during the excursion, even pulling out the stuff to pack or making the lists for the kids to pack, any of that didn't happen.
So a lack of prep.
Yeah. So then Friday comes around, I have a half day to kind of squeeze in, getting all those steps done and getting out to the venue.
Yeah.
And so at that point,
this is great.
Yeah. At that point, we went to the beautiful, far-reaching wilderness of Marshall Lake.
Oh, love it, man! Right off the Arizona Trail. Yes. So you went down the road.
Well, so it was really scrambling to get everything put together.
Yeah.
And then it was evening, and it was already dark, and it had been raining, raining the entire day. But at that point, I'm all in. Yeah. I'm striving.
You're committed
to produce this result of the outcome of Papa Phillips being a good dad by taking his kids and connecting to nature.
Yeah.
So I load everyone up. We're trying to get out there. It's already dark, and I've got to cook dinner once we get there and stuff.
It's already dark.
Yeah, it's dark.
Been raining.
It's been raining. It's muddy.
Yeah.
So we're driving back and forth Marshall Lake. Like anyone who's choosing to camp has already got a spot. So all the main spots are taken. So I see this little sliver of kind of a path that someone might have driven on once or twice.
Yeah.
Up into this, what could potentially be a spot behind this little grouping of trees. And with the rain and the mud, in the car I was in, I wasn't fully confident that if we went in forward that we'd be able to get out. So I thought if we just reverse this in.
Okay. Oh, this is good. This is good. You're committed. Yeah.
Oh, I'm all in. At that point, I am striving.
Yeah.
This has got to fit. What? There's no way this isn't working. So I angle it to reverse it in, and yeah, so it's super muddy. We're kind of uphill. There's rocks and mud, and there's trees on, like...
Oh, man.
The way this would work is my car, if I lined it up perfect, we'd go right between the trees.
Oh, lordy. Okay, come on.
So yeah, I also realized that with the slope of the hill and the grade of the hill, that I had to give it a little bit of gas.
Dude, this is honestly playing out like National Lampoons in my mind or something. Like this is the most, yeah.
Dude, this makes National Lampoons look like organized and like things went smoothly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just give it the gas. Mm-hmm. It slides because of the mud. The car totally slides off path. Like doesn't even end up on the little pathway that I'm looking at in the rearview mirror in the dark, and just slides off the path. It comes to a stop. I don't know how. Have
you hit a tree at this point? I'm waiting for the tree.
Well, at this point, I'm thinking that we came to a stop because the tires are spinning.
Okay.
Because it's too muddy.
Yeah.
But my son, he glances out his window and he comments, "You hit the tree, Dad."
He did it.
And I said, nah, we're just in the mud. We're just in the mud. Tree. But I thought, well, I should give him the benefit of the doubt and get out and give it a look, see? Because it's dark.
Yeah.
It's very dark at this point. I get out and give it a look, and yeah, we had landed square into the tree.
Oh, man.
The corner of the car, the back end of the car, was wrapped around the tree.
Yep.
Yeah. So, pulled out, gave it more gas the next time.
Into the other tree.
No,
Come on.
just got into the spot at that point, but at that point, I'm setting up a tent in the rain, trying to cook dinner in the rain. Well, everyone waits in the tent in the rain.
Yep.
Yeah. Totally striving to make this a real connection in nature. Yeah. Didn't happen.
It's happening, kids. We're camping. I'm a good dad, and you guys are getting outside.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Success.
it. Oh, man. And your wife is with you?
Yeah.
Is she just
Huge
suffering?
fan of the whole event from start to finish.
I can only imagine it.
She's real down
Yep.
from start to finish. And when we run into the tree, that only amplified her enthusiasm for the experience.
I can only predict my own wife's response in that scenario and just how I would be just smoked.
For me at that point,
Yeah.
I'd actually realized how much I was trying to fit that square peg into the round hole.
Right.
And so it was at that point making me laugh, which I don't think helped the enthusiasm coming from my wife.
Yeah. You know how when so something comes up for me when you're telling this story is when I'm thinking the Enneagram, right?
Yeah.
And I just kind of picture like you in Stress, which you go to that 7,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I'm just picturing Ernie smashing his head against that drum cymbal.
Yeah, dude. Just like, what do I do at this point?
Totally.
Just darts at the wall, not even at the board. Just like trying to scramble to get the pieces fit. And they're just not meant to fit in that moment.
Yeah. So all the process of getting stuck or attached to that outcome, huh? Like we have got to make this happen. We got to do this camping trip. I'm going to be a good dad. My kids are going to get outside. We're going to make this happen.
Yeah.
At no point it was kind of like, man, we could maybe do this another time. Or like maybe we could,
None of that. Got to make it happen. Striving from start to finish. Now that I've opened myself up and revealed real calamity of errors,
Oh, man.
I'm wondering if you have any.
Well, many.
I'm going to throw it back to you.
Yes. Oh, man. Well, I'm in the process of starting a business called C- Construction.
It's like for Cody.
Yeah.
See my.
It's like a little less than average. Yeah.
So is that going to be your slogan?
Yeah.
Like, if you're expecting average, I'll give you a little less.
Yeah. The slogan will just be, it works. That's all it's going to read.
Okay.
Dude,
Where did
so-
this business idea stem from?
Man. Well, basically, anytime I've taken on any kind of house project, so this, essentially kind of is with me and a cousin of mine. We joke about our construction abilities because we get the things done, but they're not going to look quite the best. And so
It's like a C- grade.
we'll get it's like a C- on this project. So most recently was Jamie wanted me to put in some closet doors. So we got like some bifold closet doors, like they needed to be cut to fit the frame. So I don't have a table saw, but I figured, we could make this happen with a with a circular saw. And So lined it up. It wasn't straight. The product was not straight after these cuts.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Do you feel surprised?
A circular saw on a closet door.
Yeah,
Seems
man.
like that'd just be an easy straight shot.
Should be an easy straight shot, man.
I'm wondering if you even got the pencil mark.
Oh,
straight.
dude, I got those pencil marks straight. C-, man. So at any rate, put those closet doors up, and at the top, the right door just veers off so strong. Like, it's so close throughout the whole door, and the top is probably like an inch away. Like, it gets pretty bad. So I remember Jamie looking at him just being like, we're going to get new doors.
So, did she say anything? Oh, man.
I'm just interpreting what I think she's saying. She just had to shoot a look, you know what I'm saying?
So basically what we get out of this is when you and I fall into striving, our wives end up being real impressed.
Suffering. Yeah, just misery.
So we're talking about the suffering of our wives.
In addition to shaving my face, we also have me trying to
those closet doors.
cut some closet doors.
And they're still in there?
Yeah.
So every
Well, they
time
are for now. But
every time you guys walk in your girl's room,
oh, yeah. They look at the closet doors sleeping. Every time I lay down in their bed, put them to sleep or something, like all I see is this closet door.
oh, man.
Which for me is not a problem. It works fine. I love it. Works great.
Ah, yeah. Slap a C- construction sticker on there.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
good.
a C-, man. It's a little less than average. So we'll be doing those again sometime down the road. But it all came out of this thing of like, we have these doors. They've been sitting in the garage for a long time. I know I
make it
need a
work.
table saw, and I want to get this done. Yeah. It was all from this, like, I have to get this done kind of feeling,
Yeah. That's that need to strive to of what you're supposed to be or should be. Yeah.
Totally. And I probably could have just borrowed a table saw or like, try to get the right tool for the project kind of thing. And I probably would have produced a better outcome. But it was like not seeing with awareness that I'm trying to just get this table or this closet door hung. Totally motivated my behavior in this direction to where now we're looking at these closet doors that are hung and we're going to be doing it again sometime down the road.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
So maybe in these two scenarios, we could have gone to this attitude of non-striving.
It would have been a more useful approach.
I know for me it would have.
For me it would have too.
I don't know about your situation, but there's no doubt in my mind it would have benefited that weekend.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been a much more useful approach. Which kind of leads us to like why non-striving, right? Like why is this even a mindfulness attitude and that sort of thing? And it turns out with the practice of non-striving is actually incredibly healing. And what it allows us to do is essentially unhook from those outcomes, right? Like the process of us or getting hooked to that outcome of like, we got to go camping, or I should be a good dad, or I should get my kids outside, or I should get these closet doors hung. It's the process of trying to make that happen, right? That then ends up creating the suffering in a sense.
Yeah. So there's this sense. I mean, what you're saying just I can relate to so much for us in Western culture. We just have this need to produce.
Yeah, totally. And so like on a grand scale, that exists very widely, right? And so the second part of that, so one, why non-strive, is to unhook from outcomes and trying to force something to be that isn't, right? And then the second part of that is then kind of bringing our attention to what we do. And when we do something, what it allows us to do is essentially operate out of a sense of our own being, right? Opposed to an obligation of how we think things should be, right? Yeah, certainly. And that true drive is, right, so like there's a piece of authenticity to that, right? Like the thing that we wanted to come out of is like, what is our most authentic self? And we'll get into this in a second, but also related to our values and our principles, that sort of thing. So yeah, why non-striving? Allows us to unhook. The other thing is it allows us to be in contact with our true self.
So then how do you go about doing this?
Yeah, so the first one, again, if we go back to Kabat-Zinn's definition of allowing things to be held in awareness without having to operate on them, it involves bringing our attention to that, noticing what is in our consciousness or what is in our thought, right? So I always think of a really practical strategy, and a lot of these with mindfulness, right, just start with the word stop, like stop, check in kind of thing. And so with that would be acknowledging how things are. So taking appraisal of what's going on, and then just reminding yourself that whatever is here now is good enough. I don't have to try to make this be anything else. I don't have to operate on it on a way to try to get it somewhere else, sort of thing. Yeah.
It's so funny as you're saying that. I'm thinking about this experience that's long come and gone. Like it's way in the past. And yet in my mind, I'm like, man, if I would have stopped and checked in, I would have been like, this just isn't meant to be. I'm trying to live up to this certain thing. And if I want to operate on my true value to connect with nature, we could let go of sleeping outside tonight. And like I could get up early with the kids and we could go do breakfast out like on a peak somewhere. Like we could have totally adapted it and still connected with nature the way I wanted to, rather than some idea of what that looked like, me striving to be a good dad in that certain way.
Right. And so like that exists independent of whether you went camping or not, right?
Yeah,
like you're a good dad and your kids are connected to the outdoor. Like,
well, I mean,
take that with a grain of salt, with a G of S.
Come on. Jump to that conclusion too quickly. But yeah, there were alternatives that wouldn't have come from that space of striving or being something that I thought I should be, rather than just what I naturally was.
Exactly. Right. And so many of these practical strategies just start with the word stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. Yeah. And check in and just remind yourself, things as they are good enough. And then, the second thing we had talked about for why non-striving, right, is to operate out of a true authentic self or a sense of being, right? And so a real practical strategy for doing that is to take time to invest in understanding how you make your decisions in life. Like, how do you go about saying yes to things and no to things? How do you go about moving forward in the world? How do you know what to operate on and what not to operate on? And so what comes up with that for me is learning how to identify what are your principles or your values versus acting on reactions to thoughts or feelings about things.
Yeah, so when you do that you used the word unhook a minute ago. Like, that stuck out to me. So when you do that then puts you in the position to be able to unhook from the thing that you're trying to achieve and just be in tune with what's going on with you.
Right.
And then take the step forward with intention.
Right. And there's a real paradox in that.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I think Kabat-Zinn talks about there's a paradox in whenever you allow for yourself to, again, if we use the word unhook, when you unhook from the thing you're trying to create, you then make yourself open to that thing.
Yeah.
So, for me, I feel like we hear happiness a lot. I want happiness in life. Let's unhook from trying to create happiness. Let's just go about making decisions and acting on things that matter.
Yeah.
Knowing that happiness will come, knowing that joy will come, that sort of thing.
Focusing on the process rather than the outcome.
Truly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, good stuff. Now I know when I'm trying to force that camping trip on a Friday evening when it's raining outside, we don't have a spot, maybe let go at that point and give up on that striving.
Maybe just chill at night. It's okay.
Yeah. Fall into that non-striving.
Fall into that non-striving or non-doing is another word for it. So I guess, in some ways, we've been dropping a quote to get out of episodes.
Yeah. You've really latched onto that.
I have, man. Ever since you did that, I really liked it. Yeah. Well, just keep going with it.
What
all right?
I'm good with it. This is your jam. What do you got for us?
Well, Kabat-Zinn, right? He says life is like farming, and the right soil is required to grow anything, and nothing will grow if the soil is polluted by striving or pushing too hard.
We can do too much. We can overproduce that land.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you just kind of let it be.
Let it be.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you take us out by shouting us out?
No doubt. You can always find us on the interweb, www.beyondflag.com. You can find us on the IG. Flag spelled FLG. That's right.
Find us on the IG.
Flag also spelled IG. Beyond Flag, or the Twitters. Dan's been blowing up the Twitters.
Yeah, here and there.
Here and there.
Yeah. There's some good content out there on Twitter. I have a hard time getting on the socials, and I mostly don't like them. But there's some good content on there. Some content that makes me LOL.
Nah, no doubt. Hashtag LOL all day.
Yeah.
LOL AF. And then lastly, find us on your favorite podcast platform. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a review. Maybe not. Whatever you want to do. It's all good.
Nah, we can take it.
We can take it.
Yeah, give us a review.
But in the meantime,
take care.
Lovies.